Welcome back. We're still talking policing. Now we've got Mr. Adelaye Oyebade MNI, who is the DIG in charge of research and planning with the Nigerian police. He also oversees the Southwest Geopolitical Zone, and actually community policing is under his purview. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. Now, several questions.
Thank you so much.
All right, about community policing, what do we expect? Can the police make this happen? As presently constituted, many just have huge questions. So could you go ahead and tell us, how is the police going to practicalize this community policing initiative under this IGP?
Thank you so much. Let's start from where we are coming from. And we know that Nigeria Police, under the present Inspector General of Police, is making all efforts to make policing community-driven. And that informed the concept of community policing. And if we go down the memory lane, the present administration asked the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies to undertake a research. And that research topic given was community policing as a center focus. The theme then was given as strengthening internal security in Nigeria and community policing, models, policy options, and strategies. And that was given for the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies in the year 2018. As we know, that's the apex think tank for this country. And after a whole research was done, the presentation was made to Mr. President with all the members of the Federal Executive Council in session. I happened to be part of that presentation. And there and then, the federal government adopted community policing as a way forward for us to address the complex policing of this, our great country. It's a way forward because when we look at our national outlook, with the vast land from the north, south, east, and west, we have diverse culture, language, and a lot of things. It is community policing that will bring policing nearer to the people, because it's going to be policing by the people, for the people, and by the people. And it's going to be on three stands that it will stand. It's going to be police-community partnership. It's going to be problem-solving and organizational transformation. So when it was adopted, the government also set up another committee to build up and work out the strategy to make it happen. And that strategy is now what we are implementing. And the stages are sensitization. We are sensitizing members of the public already. The Inspector General of Police have gone around all the states. He has conferred with all the critical stakeholders. All the governors have been carried on board. We are on the same page. We have been talking with all the critical stakeholders, the academia, the media, the NGOs, civil society organizations, the whole lot of the traders and the people that are connected from the grassroots, the local hunters.
All right, so
what we are saying now is policing must be community-driven.
Okay, so tell us then.
Ask people
how, in terms of recruitment, what do we expect?
Okay, let me give you the structure. We're going to, as I speak with you, even in Kwara State today, there's going to be an inauguration of the Police Advisory Committee at that state. Mind you, almost all the states in the country, we have inaugurated this advisory council. This advisory council is called Community Policing Advisory Council at the state level. And that level, the people that are involved includes the governor. So the governor is going to be part of it. And then you have the State Community Policing Committee, you will have Area Command Community Policing Committee, you will now have also at the divisional level and then at the local government level, up to
Mr.
the
Everybody,
least police posts.
When people hear you say the governor will be involved, already to them it's an alarm bell. They think, whoa, governors will have to bring in their cronies. The other people won't have a chance.
No, that is not the issue. That's not the issue. As I speak with you, we have even passed that stage. The advisory committee members have been inaugurated in almost all the states of the Federation. They are to be on advisory roles. They are to play advisory roles. The real work is at the locals. Let us face reality. And I must bring in this quickly. The issue of trust and confidence must be taken very seriously in this country. There can never be two police, but one Nigerian police force. We must have trust and confidence in the Nigerian police.
Mr. Obade, just one moment. You have not quite answered, just one moment. You've not quite answered the question of that recruitment. What's the process? You've only talked about the advisory council, which has only one, just one moment. Just one moment. Who has just, advisory role? The people, how is the recruitment going to be? Because the natural question people would want to ask you is, for instance, those states that already have some form of policing effort or the other, are they going to be factored in? Is the Taraba Marshals going to be factored in? Is the Hisba in Kano going to be factored in? Is the Amotekun in the Southwest going to be factored in? What is the recruitment model or strategy?
When you get to know who is going to be recruited, I think you need to know who is going to be recruited. Who are the people we are looking for? Then you now know how the recruitment will take place. Let me say it this way. They are special constables, and they shall be recruited as community policing officers. And the process of recruitment shall be guided by the provisions of Section 49 to 50 of the Nigeria Police Act. So the special constable is going to be an auxiliary police officer. So when we want to recruit, this committee that we have already put in place, they are the one that will check on the personality of those that will be recruited from local government to local government. Mind you, we have set up all these advisory committees at the local government, at the divisional level, at the area command level, and at the state level. Now, at the local government level, the committee members are going to screen those that are coming. They are officers of impeccable character. They have already their job. They are going to be auxiliary officers. We are expecting them to put in about 16 hours working hours in a week. So and the remuneration is going to be paid by the local, by the state government after we must have trained and retrained, and we get them deployed to the local government where they have been recruited, because they know the culture, the language, the orientation, and they know the topography of the area for them to be able to work with the police at that level.
Let me ask you before you proceed.
Are going to be part.
Now,
right.
Number one is that if a governor bring in people to be recruited for this community policing, first of all, are they allowed to bring in people, and what happens if they bring in people? And secondly, how do you guard against if people are recruited who perhaps state authorities don't like their face, and then if they're supposed to be the ones to pay them, they withhold their pay? What happens in that area?
We are the one recruiting, mind you. We are the one that have the last say. The last say is to be said by the police. And we are looking at people that are employed, not just an unemployed person. He must be of a character that is not doubtful in the environment. And it is the local government committee that have been set up that are going to screen them. So it's not going to be a one-man show that any person will say, I'm installing or insisting one person should be a member. It's a collective responsibility at that level of all the members. And we have members that cannot stake their integrity for anything that can be called impunity. So at the recruitment level, we are expecting to get the best of the best.
It's something that you also said earlier, and I would like to clear it. You said the states are the ones that are going to be paying these officers. Is that what you said? Because if that is the case, they would have the right to bring in their own people. And as we say, he who pays the piper dictates the tune.
No, let's get it right. Like I've told you, these are community policing officers. They are voluntary officers. We have checked their personality. Their integrity is not in doubt. Now, it's just stipend that they are being paid. Mind you, they are gainfully paid. They are gainfully employed. It's just the stipends that is being given to them. So I know that when they must have come on that training and retraining, we are going to kit them, and it's going to be uniform all over the country. I don't see any problem emanating from that, because from the recruitment up to the training and up to the deployment, we must have given them all that they need, and they will have the powers, the privileges, and the immunities of police officers.
Okay, let me understand this.
That they know that if they do any other thing contrary, they can be disciplined.
So how is this? Because if you say they already would have been gainfully employed, is there supposed to be the kinds of jobs that they have to be in to qualify as being gainfully employed? And secondly, if, for instance, maybe if I were to be the ones to go in for that purpose, what's the schedule? Because, I mean, they have regular working hours. How are they supposed to put in that 16 hours in the community for policing?
Thank you. This is not the first time we're having special constables in this country. If you want to go back the memory lane, we used to have the Saturday and Thursday police. And in those days, you have some teachers that work during the day, and during the evening time, they also work as auxiliary police officers. So, and you agree with me that policing in Ogun State is not the same as policing in the East, and they have peculiar crimes for peculiar areas. So we have crime mapped the whole country. The crime that is prevalent in a state is not the same that is prevalent in state B. So the local government level where he's working will work out the timing for how he's going to fit in to work at that level. And mind you, most of them are going to be used for intelligence gathering, because what we're trying to do is to be preventive rather than being reactive. We want to be proactive. And intelligence-led policing nowadays is more of getting intelligence before you even arrest suspects. So we will work that out at the local level with the police officers, depending on where it will be able to fit in, to be able to accommodate the working hours that he has in his place of work. And the modus is, we don't want to recruit just somebody that is looking for money anyhow. This person must have been screened, like I've said, and he has a good job, but he's doing it voluntarily. Like we have said, we are now committing the policing to our own hands. Let us be part of the policing of this country.
Again, Mr. Yebade, you just talked about a good job. What is a good job? I mean, what kind of job would they be that would not qualify them for such consideration?
That would be screened. That would have been screened at the level of the local government. Okay. Somebody who they are going to know in the society, and that's where the community comes in. So if you are there and you bring an issue that this man is not a responsible, respected, and diligent person that has integrity, then we will take it up. So it's the society that will dictate who are those that will come in. We want to let everybody know who is coming in. Police job is not just a job that anybody comes in. That is the job that will be done with passion, with voluntary presentation from him that I want to do the job.
Still on that recruitment,
bring him in and train and retrain, and then he fits in.
Do the people have to be indigents of the state, or if they are residents for a while, they can go?
Yes, local government, the indigent of that local government. That is the concept of community policing. Like I said, we are asking that when we have them, they will assist in problem solving, and it's going to be community driven. So they are going to be from that local government. They know the language, they know the terrain, they know the problems in that area, so that they can assist the police in getting to the root of the matter. If Mr. A is being looked for, they can give us the information on how we can pick it. Like what happened in Ibadan. That issue was community-driven. When that serial killer ran away, you can see that a lot of people assisted. And a lot of things happened even presently in the areas where we are having farmers, herders issues that is being settled even at the local government level, where it is not allowed to snowball into a big crisis that would be too much for somebody to control. So at that level where you have the issues, the parties are brought to the table. The DPO will bring the farmer, the herder that has issues, and the committee at that level, advisory committee, will sit down, how much was destroyed, how much is the cost implication, then they look at a way to resolve it. Issues of minor traffic accident or minor issues, you don't need to come because we have bigger issues to take care. So at that level, simple cases that can be resolved without escalating to something of a monumental nature. We can always use community policing to resolve.
When you say that they'll be employed based on the provisions of Section 49, I think is it 50 or 52 of the Nigerian Police Act, if I heard you right?
9 to 50, yes.
Okay,
yes.
But if you look at Section 49, sub 2 here, when it says that the special constabulary shall be and be deemed always to have been part of the Nigeria police force, and then it goes on. Does that mean that if you've not been part of the Nigerian police force, you won't get this, you won't have it looking, or there has to be some amendments to this act to allow this to happen?
Reading, be specific. Which section are you reading?
Section 49, sub 2.
Section 50.
49, 2.
No, go to 50. Go to 50. We are using 50, the subsection 50, where it says, subject to the provision of this section, the competent authority may appoint as a special constable any person, whether male or female, who has attained the age of, and then you can go down and see the details there. It tells you about even, as a special constable, 1 year or such period, he will be engaged and it can be re-engaged. It shall be appointed in respect of the police area command when you go to 5C, and then you see that it already provides that a special constable appointed in respect of a police area within the Federal Capital Territory. Everything is stated there. It's a law that we just need to follow, and it's explicit. There is no ambiguity.
All right, Mr. Yebade,
the public to change their perception.
We'll get to that.
That's
a very critical aspect of this whole conversation, building police community trust. But then there is a question that I hoped that you would at least make reference to over time, which you haven't. So let me ask you straight up. There is an Amotekun that is backed by law, different states in the Southwest, and the number, Hisba in Kano, of course, is already also a product of law. So what would be the relationship between the police, community police, and these efforts of the different state governments, especially those backed by law?
I am going to tell you straight away, by the time the community policing strategy and implementation comes fully into operation, everybody will follow suit. Everybody will join us and follow what we are preaching and what we are going to practice. I'll tell you how it will go. Now, I just told you that we are going to start the training and the retraining. And the sensitization stage is where we are marketing the product now. And I can tell you straight away that all the retired inspector generals of police are coming on board also to assist in sensitizing in all the geopolitical zones of this country, all the members that we have inaugurated. So they are going to come around and speak with them, and they will tell them how we go about it. Now, by the time we train and we deploy all of them, mind you, they will be kitted. There will be uniform for all of them at the local government level. They will be kitted. We will take charge. And by the time we take charge, whoever is giving any support, we are going to receive, because as it were, we will expect any outfit that wants to give information and intelligence to the police to do so. But be mindful of the fact that the country has only one police force, and that is Nigeria Police.
So are you saying that the police will absorb the different units, or they are just going to work side by side with the police?
they will have no choice than to work with us. They will have no choice.
Okay. Now,
it's a win-win situation for us. We are coming with a program that is backed by the federal government. We are coming with a program that is backed by the people. We are coming with a program, a strategy that is backed by all that we need to do to get the society along. So by the time we have all these men in place, and they are all over the country, and they are working, and there is proactiveness in our policing, and there are issues that are resolved that are not snowballing into crisis, I think people that are off the bar will have no choice than to join us.
Okay, so I'm just looking at this section 49 and even the 50 that you spoke about. So you're suggesting that, yes, section 49(2) says the special constabulary shall be and be deemed always to have been part of the Nigerian police force, and accordingly, references in this article, the police force, establishment, and went on. But if I'm still seeing 3 here. It says the special constabulary shall consist of special constables appointed in normal circumstances under section 50 of this act. And 50 talks about, of course, he has to be 21, not up to 50, good character, physically fit. He signified his willingness to serve as special constable. So we should look at 50 and disregard 49. The people don't have to be members of the police.
It's section 50. It's section 50. Section 50.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Section 50 is very explicit. And if you go and look at it, it tells you that the man is an auxiliary police officer. And he has all the powers and privileges and immunities of a police officer.
Okay. Markwa is also here. She's got some questions for you as well. Markwa?
Just quickly, listening to his explanation on, how the community policing is going to work, some people will say that this has already been made more complex than it ordinarily ought to. That why can't we absorb those structures that are already on the ground created by state government? What exactly is stopping the police from doing that?
No, nothing is stopping us. If by this structure we have created, if by this arrangement, the recruitment is going to be done, if part of those that are in that whatever outfit can go on and get the recruitment process and is able to screen, get through, and he's not seen to be a challenge at that level, and is trained and retrained and deployed back, I don't see any problem in that.
All right. That might not necessarily happen.
You said?
Do you foresee a situation where that might not necessarily happen? You said something about having the backing of the people. The people also backed this local arrangements that, state governments have come up with. How do you see them supporting what you're coming with now, as it were, to superimpose on what they already have on ground?
That is why we are doing the sensitization now. The sensitization is to bring this to the people and to let the people know that the Nigeria police have a structure in place and we can accommodate. Like I have given you a scenario now. If 2 persons, maybe he has been in one outfit, happens to hear me today and decides to go on the screening and is able to come in after being checked to have been found fit, he comes in for the training and he's back in the system. So it's about people getting to know what is going to happen. We are not going to just keep quiet. We want people to know that we cannot continue to multiply issues of this one, that we need to streamline security arrangement in this country. And I tell you, when we have it and people have that trust and confidence in us, we've done it before and we'll do it again. It's just for everybody to come on board and share in what we have prepared. And that's why I went memory lane to tell you how the community policing concept was even, agreed upon and how it has been conceptualized. A lot of models were brought on the fore. And I tell you, we visited a lot of countries. We were in Eswatini, we were in India. There was a time in the country of India there, the police was at the lowest ebb, but they admitted and they came up with community policing. And that is what is happening all over. It's a global phenomenon. And so it cannot have a problem in Nigeria. People should come along and get these facts right and come on board with us. And we'll get it and everything will be okay.
All right, so let me ask, I mean, you say they've got to be from that local government. So if they live in that state and they are from that local government and don't live in that local government, they're not residents within that local government, does that mean they will not be considered?
The local government, I told you that we are going to have the community policing officers at the local government level for the recruitment. And it is going to be based on the personality of the person and the local government structure that is. We have 774 local government. So you have to go back to your local government, and then it is from there you'll be recruited. And when we train, you go back to that local government so that you can be part of, we can contribute to policing in that local government.
Okay, so if they are recruited into that community policing function, does it mean that as long as they are performing that function, they are not allowed to live outside that local government? And secondly, will they bear arms?
No, they are not going to bear arms. You should know the prohibited firearms cannot be. When there are issues that need that there should be firearms usage, the police will come and they will go together. Like we have said, mostly they will be used for intelligence gathering. So the issue of carrying arms will not necessarily come up. And where they need to accompany the police, maybe to get on to fetch a suspect or to arrest somebody or to support the police activities on patrol, the regular police officers will be there to carry the firearms when necessary. And in Nigeria of today, we are even saying that we do less of carrying arms and all of that. We have technology that is being put in place. Our technical platforms are working, and with that, we can reduce the issue of
we'll come to those emergency numbers in a moment.
We don't have roadblock.
What happens to outfits like Amotekun?
I have answered that. I think it's a phenomenon that I have looked at, and I know that those that are there, they will come on board and give the police the necessary support that we did with this structure that have been put in place. I've just said it. In all modern climate, you have one Nigeria police, and there can never be any other Nigeria police other than this one that the government is funding. And the government is saying community policing is the way forward. And there is a structure that have been put in place. And this structure is accommodating all the critical stakeholders, So I see it as everyone should just get, we are having a handbook now on community policing, and this handbook will be circulated. It contains all the information. It contains all the information about policing in Nigeria, all the stages, and we're going to circulate it all over. People will get to know, have the details, and see how they will relate and how they come on board. It's about getting people closer to us and let us solve challenges that can be resolved at the local level, small issues that should not snowball into a crisis. That is what is the concept of community policing. And this is what we are preaching, and that's going to what we're going to practice and give to members of the public.
All right, Mr. Adile Oyebade, the DIG in charge of research and planning for the Nigeria Police, we do thank you for talking to us today, and we'll put up those numbers, hopefully, later. Okay, do we have them now? Okay, so at least those are some of the emergency numbers that you can get across to from the police if you do require them. All right, let's take a look at some feedback coming through from you.
Well, yes, there are some messages coming in.
Yeah, we've got... Okay, I'm afraid we'll have to wrap it up today. We do thank you all for your comments there. We'll see you again tomorrow. I'm Chamberlain Uso.
I'm Ayo Makine. Have a wonderful day and please keep safe.
I'm Maokwe Ogun Yusuf. Thank you so much for watching. Do be responsible out there.